Now let's watch this surgical case performed by Dr. Wackler. First, he makes a mark on the center cornea, then checks the axis. He's making a temporal incision here, so his incision and placement marker is lined up over the center of the pupil, and the incision mark is being placed at the temporal aspect. The diamond knife is then set to 2/3 depth, and using a Russian style incision, a small 1.2 millimeter incision is made overlying the placement mark. Then a dissection tool is placed within the channel and rotated, first in a counterclockwise and then in a clockwise fashion. This starts the Intacs channels off at 2/3 depth. And you'll note this is pretty much the standard technique that we use in all cases. The pocketing hook is removed, and then the suction ring is placed on the globe, lined up over the centration mark. Vacuum is applied, and the dissector is inserted. This is the clockwise dissector. Then the glide blade is placed within the incision. First, the clockwise glide blade goes in, and then the dissector is rotated underneath the glide blade, and the superior channel is then made using the dissecting tool. The cornea in keratoconus cases is quite flaccid, and so you have to take the advancement of the dissector quite slowly, and always being mindful of the leading edge to be sure that there is no sign of buckling of the cornea that could lead to perforation. The dissector is put in up to the hilt and then removed. As in a similar fashion, now the counterclockwise dissector is placed in position. The glide blade is placed into the incision and into the initial pocket that's been created, and the dissector is then passed beneath the glide blade and rotated in a clockwise fashion. That's a counterclockwise fashion, to create now the inferior Intacs channel. Again, it is advanced in a very slow and deliberate fashion, being mindful that if you buckle the tissue, especially in flaccid corneas, you could get a perforation. The Intacs are then grasped, and here the thicker Intacs is being placed below. This is a 0.35 Intacs placed into the inferior channel. Note how the tissue stretches there around the Intacs. You can see just how flaccid this tissue really is. And then I'll come back and we'll put in the superior Intacs. In this case, it's a 0.25 Intacs. So you can see it's quite a bit thinner. And you slide this around in position as well. Advancing with the Sinskey hook to get your final positioning so that the ring lines up with the marks that were made on the cornea in the first steps of the procedure. The cornea is hydrated, and the patient leaves the recovery room in good condition. And that's the case.